do you see smaller companies, and I'm talking headcount, 10 to 50, for example, or let's say sub 10 million, already implement chatbots? And I'm asking this based on the fact that you guys have a product, and I'm curious to see how that adoption has been going.
Oh, yeah, it's you know what it is? There's a hesitancy out of the gate to adopt it, but once they adopt it, at that point, it's almost like it's something they can't unsee. So they look at it and they're like, well, we have to do it. I still think there's a level of trepidation with everybody. The funny part about it, which is very interesting, because we're in the U.S. we're in a really, really weird economy right now. Our economy, I'll go to my Wall Street days, is literally being fueled by AI expansion and nothing else.
Your Mac 7 or something is like half market cap of whatever, or even more. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so everybody's out. We're doing great. We're not, we're doing okay, but the AI is fueling it. So, but the funny part is businesses aren't pushing back on the cost, and we're not charging them, crazy amounts of money, but they're not, because they realize the power. You know what it is? You come across business owners, 1 in 5 business owners, small business owners, and they understand it's not a tool, it's the intelligence you're leveraging. And when they see that, that's where I look ahead. I'm like, that's a really intelligent CEO, because they get it. Yeah, the tool's great, and that's going to be great to augment our jobs. But when you leverage it for its intelligence, that's where you're taking it up another level. And when they see the intelligence and how quick it can solve their problem, they're not afraid to spend, and they will spend money. Now the question is how much is AI going to cost, and how much does that go into the customer acquisition cost? So I do think at the end of the day, you may move some stuff out of the customer acquisition cost, right? And we're just replacing it with AI stuff that may end up being almost the same amount of money. So I am wondering how the AI products are going to be priced. A lot of people think, well, small businesses and B2B and whoever, they may reduce the headcount and that's going to leave more money. Okay, yeah, but how much is the AI going to cost to run it? I know the goal is to get AI as cheap as we can, but I know our team, the number one thing we're seeing, the more AI work we're implementing, or models we're implementing, the more and more work we're doing. It takes a lot to fly these things.
I hear you. Yeah. And I think also what people are forgetting is it's nice to chat to ChatGPT and be like, hey, talk about whether it's your day, or ask a question, a recipe, or something else, hotel tips. You can ask anything. So I can understand people and it can embrace from that side. Let's add a chat button, or let's bring AI into our customer service, or even sales, essentially. But AI isn't, this is my take, AI isn't ready to be actually to let people off, not in a small business. If you have a big company with 100 sales rep or customer support people, I can bet your ass some of them are going to get let go. When it's a small business and it's one person, you still need that one person in the loop. You need that human in the loop. So what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing also, is that people are embracing AI. However, they are now freeing up their team to do more. And now they can be more efficient in other ways and help the business in another way. While AI is taking care of 80% usually of all the queries that are coming in. Is that something you're seeing as well, or a different landscape?
No, I agree. I live in between the line of, when I first saw AI, I thought it was going to level almost every job out there. The more deeper I get into AI, I realize, okay, they keep talking about the new roles that are going to be invented, and I see the new roles. One of the things that I keep coming back to is the term AI pilot. I've heard it somewhere before. Maybe I said it. I don't know. But I'm noticing, if you don't have a pilot for each AI platform or a collective series of platforms, it's not going to go right. You need to have somebody who has a vested interest in flying these things, making sure the content's right, making sure the strategy's right, and making sure that it's implemented right. So that's a whole job unto itself. I do think, I know they're going to get very intelligent, and I do know that, they're going to be able to train themselves. I know that's like a big, thing about these AI bots training themselves at some point, but I still think the human being is going to be training them. So I think there's going to be AI trainers. So it's funny, because when I was on Wall Street, when the dot-com era was here, you would always hear, well, it's going to wipe out a lot of jobs. And that, and it did, the internet did wipe out a lot of jobs. If you were a printer, or something along those lines, or if you
created so much more. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Or if you had a brick and mortar store and it's a product you didn't really need to go to the store for, Amazon wiped you out. You're going to see the same thing. I think it's going to be a little bit more dramatic with AI, just like the internet. I think we're going to get over the hump. I think you're going to see new jobs emerging. And I do think things are going to work well. And kind of to go to your point, I do believe what a lot of people are saying, the rise of the micro business owner, 2-3 people shops, is going to be upon us, and they're going to do great. And I think
Oh
we have,
yeah,
right? So I think they're going to be here. And I think the days of working 2.5, 3 days a week, that's going to arrive as well. AI is going to run 24/7 and it's going to augment our life. And we're going to be able to pop in and pop out as needed. You're not going to be able to take off forever, but I think we're moving into a very, very different world. So I know everybody's so afraid of right now, but if you look over the horizon, the outcome, I think people are really going to like where we're headed. It'll be a bit of a bumpy road till we get there.
I think we're going to get there. I'm curious on the timeline, and I have a question coming up for you on that. But first, just one last thing on the chatbots, and I think this is important for our viewers as well that are hesitant on getting onboarded. What are some of the fears that you hear? What are some of the hesitations that you hear when you're onboarding or talking to a potential client or potential business that is trying to adopt an AI agent to help in customer support or sales? What are some of those?
The number one issue we hear is it's not going to give the right information to the prospect, customer, or whatever, or even the internal person who's going to be using the chatbot. That's their biggest fear. Well, what we do is we say, well, it all comes back to the data you're giving it, how the data is organized, and how you're training it. And so long as you're doing those three things, and the caveat is there's always has to be a disclaimer under any chatbot you're using, whether it's external or internal, saying, remember, this is not perfect science. We're still getting there. And we do believe it is correct, but verify anything you're getting back to make sure that you feel as if this is accurate. So once we tell them that and we talk about the training and we talk about keeping the data fresh and organized the right way, it normally alleviates their fears. I think the biggest thing was, well, there's hallucinations and everything else. Well, there was. That stuff is beginning to subside. It's beginning to go away, but that is bar none the number one fear is it's going to give the wrong answer. That's starting to go away rapidly. And we let them test it out. We put a bot in front of them and say, ask any question you want. We literally say, before we onboard them, ask any question you want about your company. And 99.9% of the times, their mouth's on the floor. They're floored that bot knows more than anybody in the building already. And they're like, yeah, maybe one or two things are wrong, but that's enough for us to say, we don't care about that. We want to onboard this thing.
And I think what most people also tend to forget in their hesitancy and their fears is, look at self-driving, for example. Right now, a lot of people have car crashes and people actually get killed by car crashes at the same time, right? If we can get that percentage just 1% lower by self-driving, that error rate, so much more people will stay alive. The same thing would happen with if we translate that to chatbots, for example, and might be a big step, but the point is here, people in chat, in customer support or sales will make mistakes. It will definitely happen. So you have to account for the fact that even an AI is allowed to make some mistakes. We always think because it's a computer, it's not allowed to make mistakes, but it should be. A human also would make mistakes. The question is that error rate similar or less? And I think what you're showing us is that you can actually get to a lower error rate than what a normal human being could potentially have on a data set if it's trained well enough and if it's maintained well enough.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a couple thoughts there that come to mind. Number one, I tell people all the time, unless you're an extremely high level PhD or MD, like something out of this universe, intelligence, these things are smarter than everybody around us. They're smarter than everybody in the room. Don't mistake yourself thinking you're smarter than the LLMs. You're not even close. And when they go in and they do in their routine tests and so forth, they destroy all the humans. That's scary. That is very, very concerning. The thing I think that's going to help us out is they don't have Rationale, and I don't know how in God's green earth you're going to be able to create a Rationale, because without Rationale, the earth doesn't spin.
Retaining memory or keep learning something and actually attach it to the model, the memory. And that's what I'd love to see. A model that actually that's small enough, that can do a lot of things, but that's self-sufficient. You can run it standalone, but it actually trains on the conversations you have and gets smarter. And I look forward to somebody that invents that thing. So it's not just one shot, always one conversation, one message where you have to put a lot of information in it, but actually be getting smarter based on your data in an easy way.
Yeah. And it's funny, just to capitalize on that, I think we're discounting how intelligent humans are and how resilient we are. They're coming, they're going to end everything for us. We invented these things. Let's not forget that. And if we want to unplug it, we'll just unplug it. I mean, so don't discount the human spirit. I mean, I think, if we think these things are getting out of control, humans are pretty smart. They'll be like, all right, enough of that. So
Len, I'm just going to warn you because this is recorded and some AI is going to see this, and I hope in the future it's not going to retaliate.
It's going to knock on my door like the Terminator. I'm dead. I know. So